Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for a Facebook Live. I know you're used to seeing Holly on Mondays telling you some amazing things about our products, their functionality, their key ingredients, but we thought we'd do something just a little bit different today and talk to you about some sales and marketing strategies related to our products that you can use to help build your business. And before we get started, I think it's really important to think about your shopping habits. What are the things that motivate you as a consumer? What are the things that make you have a really positive experience with a restaurant, a brand, a store, a business that make you want to come back? And sometimes it is a superior product. Sometimes it is just based solely on quality. Sometimes it's based on customer service that's really gone above and beyond. Sometimes it's based on packaging. Sometimes it's based on the sum of all of those things put together. But I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up thinking that we need to understand or have mastered the latest social media or the newest sales strategy or this new way to speak or advertise to customers. When in actuality, if you understand what motivates you as a customer, you can very quickly start to see what motivates your customers and how you can bring some of those things together in your business. So I think that's really important to think about moving forward. Every time you have a positive experience, where does that come from? Why? What about that experience was so positive? And how can you bring that or something similar into your business? I have a couple of slides to help us today as we're kind of talking through this. Let me go ahead and get those up. All right. There we go. We're in an Apple store. If you can't tell, we've got some iPhones in front of us. And I'm going to come back to this example specifically in a couple minutes. But just as a starting point, I want you to think about going into a store. Many of us go into a store just to browse, just to look for something, and that's just fine, normal customer behavior. Many of us go into a store already knowing what we want to purchase. So we walk in thinking, I need to buy this one thing, I know exactly what I want, I've done the research, and then we get into the store and those are over by a display of these, and there's a sign here for that, and maybe that's not what I needed anymore. It can be a very overwhelming experience, and for a lot of people can actually lead to them not making a purchase at all. The bombardment of messages at a point where you're making a purchase can be so overwhelming that it's just not worth moving forward. And then when you think about online shopping, which if you're anything like me, you've been doing a fair amount of lately, and those experiences are even more overwhelming. There's ads that show up on top of the screen, to the right of the screen, halfway down the screen. The company is telling you that people who bought what you're looking at have also bought these things. Frequently bought together, we recommend, you might also like. Some of these things are obviously meant to be very, very helpful and can be very helpful. And certainly there's times when I greatly appreciate that information. But sometimes it can also be so overwhelming that it can discourage you from making a purchase. And again, I'm only saying these things so that you can think about the things that you love as a customer, the things that motivate you, and maybe some of the things that demotivate you, that keep you from making a purchase. Now, as these technologies have become even more advanced and even more involved, some of these ads seem almost kind of scary with how directed they are to you. There's been a few times recently where something has been sold or presented to me that I didn't know I wanted. I wasn't looking for this particular item. But when it was shown to me, it absolutely was something that I wanted or needed or would enhance my life or an experience that I was looking to have. And as this technology improves, it can feel really overwhelming as a business person to try to understand it, stay on top of it, find ways that you can use it in your business. But realistically, whether you are super tech savvy or not, the fundamental logic behind the reason that some of these ads work very well really holds true either way. And so understanding those fundamental sales techniques behind it can help you in your business, whether you're really tech savvy or not. So let's kind of jump in. There's kind of two different tactics that are at use in these types of advertising: upselling and cross-selling. Now, they're definitely a little bit different, and we'll talk a bit more about how different they are and kind of what causes each one to be beneficial in just a few minutes. But it's not really too important that you know the difference. It's really just two different names to do two slightly different things that can really add value for you and for your customer. So we know that when we add value to the customer, and I think that's what's kind of fundamental here, we create that loyalty, we create that positive experience, we make them want to shop again. I see an ad that's so well tailored to me on social media of a product that I buy and love, and I now know that that company understands me as a consumer. It builds trust. It makes me want to purchase from them again. So let's go back to our Apple Store example. So in this scenario, I'm going to the Apple Store. I've done the research. I know that I want an iPhone X. It's what I need. The functionality works for me. The price works for me. I'm really happy with it. I go in, I tell the salesperson, I'm just here for an iPhone X. That's what I'd like to buy today. And the salesperson then tells me, well, there's a new iPhone 11. And from that point, he starts to tell me about the features. He asks me a lot of questions about what I use my phone for. Do I use it for apps? Am I using it to take photos? Am I conducting a lot of business on my phone? And through that, he learns I really love to take photos, take a lot of photos of my family. And by going through that process, he actually recommends that the iPhone 11 is a better fit for me, even though I thought that I wanted an iPhone X. So this, in this case, he's right? I take a lot of photos. It's a superior product for photography. Everybody wins. I win because I get something that's better suited to my needs. I'm not going to go home and 2 weeks from now see somebody with an iPhone 11 and wonder why I don't have that phone. I get a product that meets my needs. The salesperson wins because he's made a sale. The company wins because they've made money, they've made a sale. And so all the way around, it's a positive experience. This is a perfect example of upselling. So upselling is taking a purchase that somebody is already making and adding dollar value to that. Now, what about other things? Do I need other things to go with my phone? We continue to talk. Maybe I need some earbuds. Maybe I need a charger or case. Adding on accessories or other things to complement my original purchase is a prime example of cross-selling. Two different ways to add value. Again, not terribly important that you know the difference, but both ways that we can really add value to a consumer. Now, there's probably one kind of best known example of the cross-sell in the world, and that is the McDonald's "Would you like fries with that?" Now, I presented some of this, it's a bit different, at our Eco Manager retreat last fall, and I can remember the whole room laughing at that moment. And it's funny, but it's not any less true because it's funny. There are McDonald's in so many countries around the world, and McDonald's has really made a business and kind of a marketing slogan by accident just by asking this question. In fact, they've made a $20 billion business that 68 million people a day experience just because they recognize that nothing tastes better with a hamburger than some fresh French fries. So asking, would you like fries with that, became about complementing the purchase of a hamburger, creating a better user experience for their customers. But that's not all that it's about, because it also adds a dollar value. So currently, right now, you could drive through McDonald's here in the US and get a hamburger for $3.79. Would you like fries with that? Yes, I would. It adds $1.29 to the purchase. With just asking the question, we've added a 32% increase onto the sale. It's a classic example of an easy ask, something that complements the purchase and adds value both to the customer who gets a better experience and to the salesperson who gets additional revenue and an additional benefit in that way. So in fact, marketing statistics tell us that just asking the question can lead to 10 to 30% revenue increase. By just asking people if they want to add an additional item that complements their purchase, you can see a 10 to 30% increase in the overall sale. Now you might be thinking, what do French fries and hamburgers have anything to do with my forever business? This is very much true, the same statistic in our business and in the vitamin and supplement industry. So one of the things that we did is we took a look at some of our business and created an example based off of our Ego Managers last fall. We looked at our Ego Manager businesses and we picked 10 of them at random, 10 people who were Eagles. And within their business, we looked at their retail orders, their preferred customer and their novice orders, and their assistant supervisor orders where they were doing less than 2 case credits. Now, you might be wondering why we would have included assistant supervisors in that, because they are technically considered FBOs in most of our countries. The reason that we did that is because we know that they haven't fully unlocked the benefits of the marketing plan yet. We know that they are not, they're working on it. They're making steps and strides in that direction, but ultimately we know that they are predominantly consumers of our product. They are product enthusiasts. So we looked at this criteria for 10 of our businesses, 10 of our Eagle businesses, and then we averaged those 10 businesses together to just come up with a nice number that we could kind of talk about generally. And the average of those 10 Eagles was 13 customer, because again, it includes some of these assistant supervisors, but 13 product users, let's call them that, orders every single month. So we took a look at that, and if we were to break down the cases of that, 8.233 case credits, that was a 0.633 case credit average per order, which in the US is about the equivalent of an F15. So we're going to use F15 as an example today. Let's say a customer comes to you to buy an F15 or comes to you for weight management. They're hoping to look better, they're hoping to feel better, maybe they want to build muscle or lose weight, maybe they want some sort of transformation that's a little bit different than that. But by talking to them and understanding their wants and needs, you're able to recommend the F15 to them. Now, if you were thinking about cross-selling and upselling, you might start to think about what other products could complement that. Maybe it's an RG. If there's somebody who's really active, that could be a really powerful product for them. Maybe it's a fast break. If they're out, doing long workouts, endurance runs, things like that, a fast break might be a good fit. Maybe it's a forever lean, because fat blocking and that type of product benefit is more beneficial to really what they're looking for. For this example, we're going to go ahead and use the Forever Lean. So the 0.663 of their F15 plus the case credit value, 0.167, gives us 0.8 cases total. That is a 27% increase on the order just by recommending something that can really help to meet their needs. By really helping bring something forward that can serve the customer, make them have a better experience, allow them to experience a better result and have better benefits moving forward. But it's not just something that we think works in theory or this great 10 to 30% marketing statistic. And in fact, really think about that. That was just one of our 13 orders. And it's not to say that every order is going to want or need more products. Somebody may come in, need one thing meets their needs. That's perfect. This is really only something that can add value to somebody who's looking for additional results from their product, or somebody who is trying to solve a problem that can be best solved through multiple products, right? We know sometimes products together have better results than products by themselves. But just imagine if only a quarter of the people that you ask make a purchase like this, it could still have tremendous effects in growing your business if 3 of your orders, 4 of your orders that you get every single month suddenly are increased by 10 to 30%. Now, we went ahead and we tried this in our customer care team in North America shortly after we had launched our Forever Active Pro B. Now, what we did is a little bit different than obviously what we would encourage you or recommend doing, and solely because we don't have the time, obviously, when somebody contacts us in customer care to spend the time with them and really understand their needs fully. But we were able to ask everybody who called right after we launched Forever Active Pro B, if they were ordering one of the drinking gels, they were ordering berry nectar, peaches, aloe vera gel, freedom. We were asking them if they had heard of our brand new probiotic. Telling them a little bit about it, telling them about how there are prebiotic benefits to aloe vera. Prebiotics are the food that probiotics eat. Allowing them to see the benefit of these 2 products even more powerful together. Telling them obviously a little bit more about the benefits of the products, the 6 strains of bacteria, the clinical substantiation, but really just asking them if they'd heard about it and telling them a little bit about how it could complement a product that they were already buying. If they were not buying the gel, we did still tell them about it. We still shared some of that information. But through this process, we were able to increase the average sales through customer care of this new product from 374 a month to 507, which for us was a 36% increase. We've tried this with other products with similar success. There's actually a couple of examples we have that were so successful that they almost seem fake, with some of our skincare, some of our targeted skincare recommendations. Because people were so happy to be able to see benefit and add those onto their order. So again, we did it a little bit differently than we would encourage you to be doing it, but it really is something that can very quickly add up, even just from asking the question. Now, there's one thing that's very, very important to understand about this concept, probably the most important thing to understand, and that's this idea of serving versus selling. Obviously, in business, selling is a fundamental action, but think back to your experience as a consumer. You don't like to be sold to. I will immediately avoid making a purchase. I will leave a store. I will exit a conversation if I feel like somebody is just trying to sell to me. If I feel like somebody is speaking to me or engaging with me solely for the purpose of trading a product or a service or a good for my money, it just doesn't make me feel very good. And I think that's probably true for many of us. Now, if it's something that I need, that's a little bit different. But when somebody tells me I need something without actually trying to understand if I do, that kind of action really turns me off as a consumer. It makes me very unlikely to make a purchase. When somebody comes at that same transaction with a service mentality, spending time really understanding what it is that I'm looking for, what do I need, what problem can they help solve, that makes me more likely to purchase, and most importantly, more likely to build trust. If I feel like a company or a salesperson or somebody is listening to what I need and truly offering solutions to meet that problem, I am far more likely to trust them. I'm more likely to make the purchase, and I'm way more likely to purchase again, especially if it's something that's going to make my life better, it's going to make my life easier, if I'm going to be healthier, if I'm going to be happier. And it's very important to understand this. The goal here is not to sell something to somebody that they don't need. The goal is to spend time with your customers and truly understand what they need, what their goals are, and tailor the products that you're offering to that. Maybe they're already purchasing something and they're seeing results, but we have a new product we've launched that would complement that. or maybe you've recently learned more about a product that can complement something that they're asking about. It's more about plugging into that information and that knowledge and finding ways to share it that can truly add a lot of value to your customers. Just a couple marketing statistics as we're kind of getting near the end here. It's not just about, my opinion or my word here. A study of 60,000 people that was done last year globally, it spanned, I want to say, about 25 countries, yielded these results. 73% of customers have chosen, recommended, or paid more for a brand that offers a personalized experience. Now that goes back to this idea of feeling more connected to the brands that we buy from. I think we all probably have brands or products that we know aren't the least expensive on the market. We either love their performance, there's a brand loyalty attached to that, or we've had an amazing experience that makes us continue to come back. The more a salesperson listened to a customer's needs, the more likely they were to convert a sale. So we just talked about that a little bit more. And I think you can't underestimate the importance of that. And then 93% of customers are likely to make a repeat purchase with a company that meets their needs. If somebody comes to you, or if you go to a company, again, thinking about yourself as a consumer, and you make a purchase, and you loved it, it did exactly what you needed or wanted, or the salesperson said that it would, you're going to come back and you're going to buy again. It's just fundamentally how that process works. It builds trust, it builds communication, it builds good feelings. You've solved a need. You are now a trusted person, company, whatever it might be, that I'm more likely to do business with moving forward. Now, obviously, these types of things long-term that do build trust are really important. They're going to help you with retention. They're going to help you with productivity within your business. But they don't work if you're not, again, trying to serve your customer and really understand their needs and helping them to move forward. It's just a nice little product slide. Really think about the products that you feel the most comfortable with. Obviously, the ones we feel the most comfortable with are always the easiest for any of us to recommend. I recommend Sony Skincare all the time. I recommend our Awakening Eye Cream, Biocellulose Mask, because those are the things that I use most frequently. I am able to talk about how they feel, they smell, how my skin feels afterwards, but expand beyond that. And I think it's easy to sometimes just feel like these are the things I love, and so this is the knowledge that I have to share. But spend time with product training materials, with product catalogs, product manual pages, websites. Talk to your team, your friends and family. Why do they love a certain product? What other things would work well for them to help complement that experience? I think, again, it really helps to think about the things that motivate you as a customer and what would make you want to buy something from somebody, and how you determine value from a purchase, and then really find ways to tailor that and add that on to your business, again, as really a service to your customers. And that is the most important part of really building trust, also expanding your knowledge of products and expanding your customers' experience with our amazing product line. So thank you all so much. I know it wasn't your normal Monday product meeting, but hopefully you heard something in here that just sparked a little bit of interest or a little bit of something that can help you to grow your business, reach out to those customers, and share a little bit more of the products that you love. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we can't wait to connect with you again soon.